Hello everyone, this is Zooc and today I'm going to be drawing Mal'Ganis, the Dreadlord from Warcraft and World of Warcraft. This was done as a commission for someone that expressed their interest in purchasing a drawing of this particular character. So hopefully they won't change their mind now that they've seen it, because that would be pretty shitty. So here's to that. This drawing took about 6.5 hours, which is pretty average considering I'm pursuing a new sort of style, a more realistic and not so cartoonish style. So it wasn't particularly long or anything. I spread it across 2 days, watching a lot of episodes of Lost during that time. So you can imagine 6 hours is about 8 or 9 episodes. I'm slowly running out of them. I'm pretty much done with the series now. I need to find something new to watch. Anyway, Mal'Ganis. He is part of the Nathrazim, which is their race. And the Nathrazim are basically demons that were recruited by Sargeras into the Burning Legion. If you don't know anything about WoW lore, Sargeras is one of the Titans. He is not in the game at the moment as a character, but he is pretty important in the lore because he's like the ultimate bad guy. There's like nothing greater than him. So they were recruited into the Burning Legion, and they mostly acted as lieutenants or emissaries, saboteurs, leaders of smaller forces. So basically lieutenants kind of encompasses everything that they did. They were very useful for Sargeras and his evil activities. And Mal'Ganis especially was a character that played like a huge part in the storyline because he was the one that contributed to Arthas turning into the Lich King. And I'm going to get to that soon. So Mal'Ganis was sent by Archimonde to act as a sort of right-hand man to the Lich King back when the Lich King wasn't Arthas, but the Lich King was in fact the shaman Ner'zhul, I think it was, or Warlock. What the hell was he? His name was Ner'zhul in any case. So he was part of the plan to turn Arthas into the Lich King. Now, let's get down to that. If you remember in the Warcraft 3 storyline, when the plague hit Azeroth and started turning everyone into mindless zombies and scourge and stuff, the plague was spread through the grains that was infected with all sorts of nasty shit. Arthas, who was one of the good guys back then, along with Jaina Proudmoore, they were chasing the plague and trying to find out what the hell was happening to everyone. And they were constantly attacked by Scourge forces. And Arthas was told by Kel'Thuzad that the Scourge forces were actually Mal'Ganis' army, just to build his hatred against Mal'Ganis, to become obsessed with him. So they destroyed lots of cities, lots of towns. They constantly attacked Arthas, and he couldn't do anything about it. He was helpless because the Scourge was always one step ahead. So he developed this obsession with killing the Dreadlord. And that was part of the plan all along, because Arthas was very vain, and he was a very proud character. He was a very, all those young and badass, defying typical teenager mentalities. Eventually, they all got to Stratholme, and Mal'Ganis gave Arthas a choice. Either killing everyone in the city, or witnessing everyone turning into zombies. And Arthas, because he was, after all, despite his flaws and everything, he was, he was an honorable person. So he chose to kill all of them. Now, I don't know how honorable that can be, looking at it through the modern day prism, but I guess in that universe, which is sort of medieval, it was better to die with pride than die in agony and disgrace. So he chose to kill them all, and Mal'Ganis told Arthas to follow him to Northrend, where they would battle it out. And Arthas did it. As we all know, he took the fleet and he sailed to Northrend, and his obsession grew more and more powerful, and it led him to turning sort of to the dark side. Lol, Star Wars. Sorry about that, I couldn't help it. And then, of course, he lied to his army, and he betrayed a bunch of people, and finally he found Frostmourne, which he believed he could use against Mal'Ganis to kill him and finally end this whole deal. When Arthas picked up the Frostmourne, he became a slave of the Lich King. And their plan was successfully finished. But because the Lich King was smarter than everyone else, he told Arthas, after he had taken the Frostmourne, that his time for vengeance has come, or something like that. And, he told him to kill Mal'Ganis. And he did. And he didn't kill him, actually. He just defeated him. But Mal'Ganis is apparently still alive. Right now, according to various sources, he is, in Wrath of the Lich King at least, he still exists, and he is the leader of the Scarlet Onslaught in Icecrown, I think. That island place with all the Scarlet folks. And he is disguised as Barian Westwind. I don't know what relevance that even has. I don't think anyone cares, really. So anyway, apparently the Knights of the Ebon Blade finally chased him off back to his home world or whatever, through the portals and whatnot. So that's about it. After the whole Arthas deal turning into the Lich King, he didn't really seem as a very important character, but for some reason the developers chose to still keep him in the game as a sort of a crucial figure somewhat. I don't know, maybe they have future plans for him or something. In any case, that was about it for the lore. Now let's talk about the drawing. As I said, it took about 6.5 hours, and there's a stupid fucking dog barking. I'm sorry, I forgot to close the window. You probably can hear that. Anyway, it took 6.5 hours. I decided to do something different today, and I used mostly, for like 95% of the drawing, I used a B mechanical pencil. Just because I was sick of switching in between pencils and sharpening them all the time. So I just went with one thing, and it turned out pretty well, actually. It served me pretty right, and I was happy with it. Of course, some of the darker areas I had to use a 4B normal pencil on, because the mechanical just couldn't go through with it. So that was about it. A lot of cracks in the armor, a lot of metallic textures, and a lot of negative and positive contrasts, because a lot of his armor is very sharp and pointy and has sharp edges. So that was a good practice in that sense. And as for the wings, I left those at the end, as you can see. So I just went for a very veiny and sort of irregular texture, blotting here and there with what's it called, a kneaded eraser, just to create some irregularity in the texture. And that was about it. Nothing more to say. The horns were a pain in the ass to draw, as always. Horns that turn that way are kind of weird to draw, but you just gotta think of the most essential element in drawing something like that is where the light comes from, and then you can sort of imagine how the shadow would be. Because if you draw them you don't give a shit, then they're gonna turn out weird and they're not gonna look very three-dimensional. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and what can I say? Again, I hope the guy doesn't change his mind, else I'm screwed. I'm not screwed. I mean, I managed to make a video out of it, which is a good thing. It's always nice. Videos are more important than selling stuff, but yeah. I won't say any more about that. Thank you again for watching, and please like and favorite this video if you liked it, and stay tuned for more. Bye-bye.